Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about backpacking footwear, everything from big heavy hiking boots to minimalist sandals and everything in between. So let's get right into it. So first up on the list is hiking boots, a very traditional thing to hike and backpack in. A lot of pros to hiking in boots. There's also a lot of cons in my opinion. If you're one of these newer backpackers that has kind of fallen into the stigma that you have to hike with ankle support and you have to hike in boots, and maybe you've considered making the switch to a smaller hiking shoe or a trail runner. This video is going to provide you with my input on what I hike in different climates, different terrains and whatnot, and possibly could be a good resource for you in helping you decide if you want to stick to boots or make the transition to something lighter. So boots definitely have their place in backpacking. A lot of pros, but also a lot of cons in my opinion. A lot of them are insulated, so winter trips, keep your feet warmer, drier if you have a waterproof boot. You can also get waterproof shoes. I don't personally own any of those, and these are actually the only boots that I have that are waterproof, and they're super heavy. So I wear these on like really short trips, or if I'm just going to go out and play in the woods in the snow for a little bit. I really don't like to hike in these just because they're so heavy, and that's a con to a lot of boots, is they're super heavy, especially if you're going to do a lot of elevation, a lot of climbing. It's really beneficial to have a light shoe when you're hiking, doing a lot of miles. A lighter-ish boot that is waterproof is definitely something that I'm considering getting for the future. Like my last trip I did in the Smoky Mountains, I did in trail runners, not waterproof, not warm in the slightest. My feet were wet and cold the whole time. I definitely would have hiked in a waterproof boot or shoe on that trip if I had one that was a little bit more high mileage friendly. We didn't do like crazy high mileage, but anything over like 5 miles in these boots, and I just kind of feel it. They're just really clunky, they're really heavy, not the most comfortable boot to hike in. Plus you always want to be aware of what kind of terrain you're going to go through. In a little bit of rain, waterproof boots can be good, but breathability is always an issue. So a lot of times, even though the water's not getting in your shoe, your feet are creating water. You're going to be swimming in your socks. And if you're also planning on going through water crossings, you know, a lot of times you will go in over your ankle, and if you get a waterproof boot wet, it's going to dry out way slower than a shoe or like a trail runner, something that's not waterproof at all, something that's a lot lighter. So they definitely have their place, I think, but something that I don't hike in often. I've definitely made the switch to pretty much being full-on trail runner all the time. But colder trips, I'm definitely going to look into something a little bit heavier than just a trail runner, because my feet just get super cold. I don't know what it is. I feel like I've had nerve damage in my toes or my feet like years prior. Probably when I used to work outside, I was in some really cold climates, and I might have, I don't know, maybe had like the first stages of frost nip or frostbite, and my toes just never ever stay warm. So something I'm definitely going to look into is a more hiker friendly waterproof boot for wintertime. But that brings me to the next category, which is trail runners. So these two shoes have been my primary trail runners, my primary hiking, backpacking shoe for high mileage. Obviously they're all mesh top, not waterproof at all. The benefit to these is super lightweight. So when you're doing 20-mile days, lots of elevation, lots of ups and downs, when you have extra weight on your feet, and I'm talking like, I don't know how heavy boots are or the average boot is compared to the average trail runner, but I would wager to say boots are at least 4 to 5 times heavier than the average shoe. So just going out there that's in something super light, it's going to give your legs better longevity. Your muscles are going to be happier at the end of the day. I found that when I used to backpack in boots, first thing I wanted to do to get to camp, or when I got to camp, was to take my boots off. Wearing something really light and comfortable like these, because, you know, trail runners are made for doing super high mileage. Like a lot of these shoes are made for ultra running. But after a long day, I've never really felt the need to get out of my trail runners. I'll still bring camp shoes every now and then for a luxury, but just super comfortable shoes. I've always been happy with these. These are the Brooks Cascadia 12s. I believe they have newer models of these now. These things are beat. I have hundreds and hundreds of miles on these shoes. These have backpacked in about 10 different states. Not a ton of cushion on these. In my other hand, I have the Hoka Torrents. I think they're up to like the Torrent version 2 right now. Hoka is known for like a maximal shoe, so like the opposite, a minimalist, super good amount of padding. These shoes actually do not fall in that category, especially in my opinion. I think these actually have had almost less padding in them than these. So although it looks like they have a super high heel on these, they are a very flat feel. I want to say that they're not springy at all. You definitely feel the ground better. What I do like about these is they have a decently wide toe box, super light. They're way lighter than the Brooks I have in my other hand here. But these are my primary backpacking shoe right now. I'm really liking them, just super comfortable. They fit good, they're lightweight. If I cross a stream or something, and if it's a hot summer day, within maybe 2 or 3 miles, I'm feeling like they're already starting to dry out. I also picked up a pair of moon boots. So these are the Hoka Speedgoat 4s, a huge contrast to the other Hoka, the Torrents. As you can tell, they just have a huge heel on them, very, very spongy, almost like sole to these. These are a learning curve for sure. Now, I don't actually hike in these. I noticed as soon as I bought them that I probably wouldn't be hiking in these because it kind of has that like squishy feel. These are made for like running ultra marathons. I know a lot of people that have a lot of foot pain, or maybe if you're a little heavier, or if you have feet that get sore more often, this would be a good option to hike in. I personally don't like walking in these too much. I don't like running on road surfaces in these because it feels kind of squishy. On the trail, you don't notice it as much. But these are my long distance trail running shoes. So I've ran a couple ultras in these, and I really like them, but like I said, learning curve, they're squishier. You feel like you're raised up a little bit because they're so high, and they're just way different than the Hoka Torrents. Some of the differences are the tread. So the Torrents have like a softer rubber tread, as where the Speedgoats actually have a Vibram sole on them. And I will say that the tread on the Speedgoats is probably the grippiest tread of any shoe or boot I've ever had in my life. These things just make you stick to like any terrain like glue. Speedgoats run a little bit more narrow than the Torrents, I say. So me having wide feet, it was kind of a concern, especially when I tried them on, because they felt a little bit narrow. I decided to bite the bullet and give them a try anyway, which I'm pleased to say that after doing tons of miles in both these shoes, I've never had one blister from either of these. And that's saying a lot too, because I get blisters on any time I run over like 26 miles, any marathon distance or above. I always at least get one blister, and I've ran up to 50 milers in the Speedgoats and never had one blister. So they're definitely not too narrow for my feet, and I actually have pretty wide feet. They're good shoes. I would say the Torrents are definitely more of a harder sole. Like, they're not even like a medium sole. I'd say they feel hard, and these feel extremely, extremely soft. So I'm not sure if Hoka has a trail shoe that kind of blends the two for a middle ground there. If they do, I might end up trying that. And that's going to go ahead and bring me to the extreme hiker, the backpacking sandal, or the hiking running sandal. So I have two examples here. I have the Zero Shoes Z-Trek, which are an extremely minimal sandal here. You're feeling every rock, every stick on the trail on these things. I like them because they're just cool. They're super, super light, so bringing them for like a camp shoe is something that I do quite often. I also like them for like a kayak shoe, something that I want to go like in and out of water a lot. And these are the Earth Runner Cadence sandals, a more hiker-friendly sandal. It actually has good padding on them, and these actually come with Vibram soles as well. So super good grip for a sandal. I've never actually owned a sandal that had good like grip for hiking. Took a little bit of getting used to with the strap coming through the toe, but I wore these consistently like all summer long last year. Really, really like them. I've been planning on doing a backpacking trip in sandals for a long time, and it's gonna happen this year. It was gonna be in the Zero Shoes, and I still might do that just for fun one of these days, but realistically, those shoes are just painful to walk in. And I'm not talking about like just the fact that you're pretty much walking on a 6mm piece of rubber. It's just that you feel every rock, you feel everything on the trail. They're fun shoes to hike in for little trips and whatnot, but you definitely have to be like super hyper aware of everything you're stepping on. These ones, way more forgiving. It's pretty much just like you're wearing a shoe or a boot. Super comfortable. These are definitely going to be what I'm hiking a trail in here once it starts warming up this spring. Backpacking in sandals definitely has its cons. I mean, does it have pros? Maybe, yeah, water crossings and stuff. Like, you're not going to have a heavy shoe to dry out and whatnot. Definitely more cons than not in backpacking in sandals. I can't say I just recommend it. I would never like recommend that to people. Your toes are exposed. You can easily break a toe. You're gonna cut yourself on rocks. It's definitely just a more like down to earth feel, kind of a do it just for the experience kind of thing. But yeah, it's just one of those things that I've been wanting to do for a while, so I'm definitely gonna do that. But also just sticking to trail runners for summer, fall, spring hiking, backpacking, and probably gonna look into different boots as well for the winter. So that's pretty much it. Just a cut and dry what I wear backpacking, what my theories are on different backpacking footwear. Hopefully this video was somewhat helpful to you guys if you're on the fence on going back to boots or switching to trail runners, one or the other. If you have any questions or comments about anything I talked about here, put them in the comments below. I'll try to answer them for you. And also, I want to know what you guys are wearing on the trail. If there's something that you feel like I need to know, if there's a good hiking boot for winter that's still somewhat lightweight, that's waterproof, let me know in the comments below. I definitely want to check that out. In general, let me know what you guys are hiking in out there. I'm always down to try new shoes. I have just an entire rack of shoes. Not because I like to collect shoes, I just go through shoes like crazy because I'm always putting so many miles on my feet. But that's it for the video, guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button down below for more videos like this in the future and trip videos. Hit the notification bell beside it too so I can notify you when I'm gonna upload this crazy backpacking trip in sandals, which I have an idea for it right now. I got a place in mind. I'm starting to get it set up right now. The weather's starting to break. It's a sunny, beautiful, spring looking day out right now. So starting to get excited, starting to plan things for the warmer weather. So you don't want to miss that. Also hit that like button, leave a comment. And once again, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.